Alright guys, another day, another strength. Got another video for you guys today. How often can you train and how often should you train? Great questions, right? So, as always, it depends on who's asking. If you're a novice, you want to train as little as possible, get your minimum effective dose going on, run that for a while, then you can start incorporating more down the road, right? And it also depends on whether you're training for muscle mass or training for strength. I know there's a lot of crossover, but if you're training for strength, a lot of the movements are larger, more fatiguing. If you're training for muscle mass, you have more leeway there. So one example is if you're training for strength, the more advanced you get, the less frequently you can train large movement patterns hard. An example being the deadlift, right? When you're a novice, you can do it 3 times a week, do your 1 set of 5. As you get more advanced, you might only do 1 set of 5 once a week, or even less frequently than that, intermingling with different exercise variations, right? Now, on the other hand, small muscles such as biceps, triceps, rear delts, side delts, calves, and abs, if you're a guy like us at Starting Trade Boston, you don't have any small muscles, right? But yeah, if you're training those small muscles, you can train them as often as every single session. So it's, for example, if you're training 4 days a week, and I do this now, I have an upper-lower split where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I might train some of these small muscles every single one of those 4 sessions. So it's really like upper full body, right? So on the heavy leg days, I'm doing some small muscle groups for the upper body as well, because they just can be trained more often. And the way to do that is to vary the movement pattern. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you're training the biceps, you can kind of split it into different functions of the bicep, right? So like one day might be a barbell curl, one day is a hammer curl, one day is a reverse curl, and one day is a preacher curl. So the difference between those is that the barbell curl is what I would call like a squeeze-based movement, where it's a really hard contraction at the top, and it's a really heavy compound curl movement, really, right? You can, I guess it's still in isolation, but it's a heavy curl movement. Then you might have a stretch-based movement like the preacher curl, right, where you're fully lengthened at the bottom. And it's gonna be a lot lighter, right? Then you have the reverse curl, where your hands are like this, which is more for the brachialis, as is the hammer curl, right? And those are just different grips. So like one grip is like this, one grip is like that, and then your bicep curl and your preacher curl like this. So you're varying the movement pattern and also compensating for different functions of the muscle as well. So it's really the same concept as the conjugate system for heavy compounds, where you use one heavy compound, vary the movement, and you max out every week on a different movement. Just by varying the movement, you know, that varies the loads naturally, which compensates for the stress that you're applying and allows you to recover better and then perform better over time as well. So intensity and relative effort can be much higher with this style of training, as opposed to if you do like, you know, let's say you're trying to deadlift and just do deadlift 3 days a week, you have to do like a lighter day and a medium day, and you're just deadlifting all the time, which can be boring, and you're doing the same movement pattern every single time. But this time you can do, like if you do like a deadlift with a good morning and then a Romanian deadlift. Probably not a great example because those are really fatiguing, but you get the point. Like you could do all 3 of those in the same week and work up to that, and that'll probably be fine. And then you can train each one with a high relative effort, meaning you can train them all close to failure, and you're probably gonna be just fine because the movement patterns themselves are different enough. A better example would be like in the biceps there, right? So you have those 4 different movements. You could do like 2 sets each of the barbell curls, the hammer curl, reverse curl, and preacher curl. Take them all to failure every single day, and you're probably gonna recover just fine from that. Spoiler, I've done it, and it works, right? But anyways, how much should you train if you're doing this, right? Basically, as much as you can recover from within a given time frame. So if your allotment, whatever your schedule is, right? If it's 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. So I like 4 days a week, and I don't wanna train more than like 90 minutes per day, because I don't really have time for more than that. So what I'll do is just stick to that, and then over time, work in more movements, and then kind of work up to what I'm able to do over time, as much as I can do over time, right? The only reason not to do this is if you don't like training, but if you don't like training, then you're probably not an advanced lifter in the first place. That might not apply. But yeah, start with the minimum of sets for each lift. I like to start with 2, and then you can work up to like 4 or 5, but only add sets when progress on your reps and your weight stalls. So that's the easy way to go about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, say something in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, goodbye.